In the Sadharmala, we find it an essential part of many of the sadhanas to pray to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas bent on nirvana, to wait for time eternal for the benefit of all beings. In the songs of dohas of the Siddhacharyas, we find the spirit of universal compassion expressed often in a very nice way. The stress of Karuṇā in various ways is a characteristic feature also of Charyapad. Now we are going to discuss between the distinction between the Karuṇā and Mahakaruna. Further, there is distinction between Karuṇā and Mahakaruna. Karuna is sattva alambana, that is directed towards persons and belongs to the level of human awareness, and Mahakaruna is dharma alambana, that is it arises from the perception of the true nature of things which are transient. In other words, Karuna shows advesa bhav and Mahakaruna shows amoha bhav. It is also said that Karuna and Pragya are get connected by Mahakaruna. In fact, it is necessary outcome of Mahapragya. It arises of amoha and recognizes all three satyas and is directed towards all beings, thus helping them in their liberation. Another quality which was closely connected with Karuna was Shraddha, one of the important factor of Mahayana. In Theravada Buddhism, also Shraddha is known as faith, and in technical sense it is the name of a mental state, the function of which is to purify the consciousness, just like water purifying gem. It wilts out the field of consciousness from defiling factors and makes it refreshed and pliable and receptible as a farmer does in the field before sowing the field. Thus, for the life of mankind, which has to limit its sphere of living to the globe alone, the significance of compassion, Karuna, should be paid due attention. The 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, also says that compassion is one of the few things we can practice that bring immediate and long-term happiness to our lives. A truly compassionate attitude towards others does not change even if they behave negatively or hurt you. Sandang Rinpoche says that a compassionate mind is absolutely necessary and indispensable for everybody who gives care to anyone. A mother who cares for her child has all compassion without selfishness. After some time, then the compassion can be contaminated by selflessness and self-desire, but the natural born compassion is there. A teacher taking care of a student, the elderly taking care of the younger generation taking care of the dying and elder generation, all of this, if done without compassion, then everything becomes mechanical and dry. That is not care, that is performing your duty, your livelihood. You are doing it for your livelihood, and that reduces the value of the entire action, and therefore the receiver will not feel anything. It is imposition. If a person is very weak, lying on a bed, never able to put a blanket on his or her body, and if somebody compassionately puts a seat on that person, not only just putting the seat on, but that gesture, that action gives a kind of satisfaction and sense of security in the person's mind. And if you are on the round and it is your duty to just put it on them, the action is the same, but receiver will definitely feel the difference. J.C. Pandey says that the concept of Mahakaruna as a unique quality of Buddha received much attention among the Sarvastivadins, who attempted to distinguish it in detail from Karuna or the feeling or compassion. It is the nature of the insight or pragya and may be properly called the grace which flower from enlightenment itself to save all beings. It is not an emotional and cognitive attitude, but very essence of Buddha's knowledge which pervades all beings, drawing them towards himself. According to one view, pity, Karuna is directed towards persons seen to suffer, while grace, Mahakaruna, proceeds on the basis of essential reality. Sarvastivadins interpreted this in accordance with their metaphysics, holding that object of Karuna is the person, while that of Mahakaruna is the same as dharmas. This is, however, a reduction ad absurdum. If the person is reduced to dharmas, how can pity arise? Only indifference can arise there, as is well known in the context of the four apramanas. Similarly, the effort to distinguish Karuna and Mahakaruna in terms of extent, level, etc., can hardly be regarded as touching the fundamentals. Karuna is one of the virtuous and spiritual emotions which need to be cultivated by the Buddhist practitioners. It may be translated as compassion, pity, sympathy, goodwill, or love, but it remained a normal human emotion evoked by the sight of suffering. Mahakaruna, on the other hand, belongs to the Buddha uniquely and is another phase of his enlightenment. It can be called grace or universal love. It does not arise either from the perception of suffering individuals, not from that of elements in restless commotion. It is the spontaneous affirmation of the non-duality following the moment of realization. It is the spontaneous affirmation of non-duality following the moment of realization in which the illusion of duality is cancelled. Bhikkhu Briyadatta of Sri Nalanda, Bihar, in the commentary Nibandhana on the Arthvrishya Sutra, states that Sravakas and Pratyek Buddha are rishis, but the Buddha is called as Maharishi because he is empowered with extraordinary qualities of great compassion, etc. Mahakripa is Mahakaruna, of course, and it belongs to Lord Buddha alone on this view. Now we are coming to the concluding point of view. Therefore, from the foregoing accounts, it may be presumed that the word Anukampa has close resemblance to Karuna in meaning. The former never developed in a technical sense as happened in the case of latter. The word Karuna developed in Mahayana Buddhism in a very high technical sense and in the highest developed aspect of Buddhism. Thank you very much for your patience hearing on this module on Karuna and Mahakaruna. I hope you might have got interest in development of your understanding related with the compassion and great compassion. Thank you.